one desperate act available to him: the violence of January the 6th. And since that day, more than 1,200 people have been charged for their assault on the Capitol. Nearly 900 of them have been convicted or pled guilty. Collectively, to date, they have been sentenced to more than 840 years in prison. And what's Trump done? Instead of calling them criminals, he's called these insurrectionists patriots. They're patriots. And he promised to pardon them if he returns to office. Trump said that there was a lot of love on January the 6th. The rest of the nation, including law enforcement, saw a lot of hate and violence. One Capitol Police officer called it a medieval battle. That same officer was called vile racist names, echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany. He proudly posts on social media the words that best describe his 2024 campaign: quote, revenge, quote, power, and quote, dictatorship. There's no confusion about who Trump is.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, so because it is the anniversary of January 6th, we all know what that means, okay? The liberal fake outrage from the mainstream liberal media is going to get out of control, okay? They're going to melt down over January 6th all over again as if it actually is happening right now. And the antics are going to be comical, okay? Like, for example, one of the soy boy Capitol Police officers is announcing his run for Congress.
On this day, my role was as a Capitol Police officer. I'm Harry Dunn, and that meant putting aside who I am, a father, a Marylander, a Democrat, because I swore an oath to protect our Constitution, to protect our democracy. It's what allowed me to protect some members of Congress who I knew were bigots, who helped fan the flames that started all of this. I put country above self. The problem is, a lot of them didn't. Some of the same people who stood behind us when we protected them went back on the floor of Congress and stood behind Trump. They voted to acquit him. And worst of all, they denied the violence and trauma that led to the death of some of my fellow officers. I couldn't stand by and watch. I had another role to play. I used my voice to speak out, to get into good trouble. And a few weeks ago, I left the force after more than 15 years of service, so that today I can announce I'm running for Congress. We can't ever let this happen again. And you've heard it from Trump himself. He is hell-bent on finishing what he started this day. I'm stepping into a new role today, but I can't do it alone. I believe every one of us has a role to play in this fight. So join me. We've got a democracy to protect.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, so the crying soy boy, skittle guzzling, former Capitol Police officer. They called me the N-word. Harry Dunn is running for Congress. Again, it's the grift that never ends, right? It's like the boohoo whining and crying racism industry. Okay, there's now a new industry built off boohoo whining and crying about January 6th. Okay, they'll never stop talking about it, right? So again, a lot of this stuff is approaching epic levels of comedy, okay? And I told you guys that what they're going to throw at Trump is going to get out of control. Like, for example, I told you guys multiple times, they're going to end up declaring that Trump is the Antichrist, right? This is what they're going to do. They're already calling him Hitler, right? They're comparing him to a Nazi. The Antichrist is next. And lo and behold, right, we have this tweet right here from this guy, the Sig man. He says, this post by Trump crosses into blasphemous, approaching Antichrist-like. I planned to vote for him if he was the nominee, but now I realize the moral danger he presents to the church. I cannot vote for this man in good conscience. Yeah, so here we go. Okay, the Antichrist label is approaching, right? They're going to end up declaring that Trump is the Antichrist. I'm telling you, okay, it's going to pick up. It's going to be a thing, right? This is the next thing they're going to do to try to get the Christians not to vote for Trump, right? This is what they're going to do. But in the meantime, you have Democrats that are continuing their January 6th meltdown. And we have Joe Biden, who's joined in on this, okay, as he's given his first campaign speech of 2024. And he's made it all about Trump, right? Because that is the campaign strategy from the Democrats now, which is to continue to make Trump stronger by attacking Trump. Something that these people clearly have not learned from in the past 3 to 4 years, that the more that you attack Trump with some of these silly accusations, the stronger that he gets, okay? But that doesn't stop Joe Biden from going on this unhinged rant against Trump, in which he comically basically tries to declare that Trump is a dictator, while at the same time, Joe Biden himself acting as a dictator by locking up his political opponents, right? The irony is pretty fascinating. So without further ado, let's go ahead and react to it.
Trump won't do what an American president must do. He refuses to denounce political violence.
Amazing, amazing, absolutely amazing, right? This is why I say everything that the Democrats say is projection, right? So he's going to go on this rant about Trump refusing to denounce political violence when the most political violence in this country, objectively, by any measure, any objective measure, I'm talking about with your own two eyes, right? What we see comes from the left, okay? Right now, we have far left extremists that are committing acts of political violence on behalf of Palestine, right? We've had Roe v. Wade rioters who tried to assassinate Supreme Court justices. Okay, where were all the Democrats that were out denouncing that? They weren't denouncing that. They weren't saying anything about it, right? They were trying to sweep it under the rug. You had the same people that were attacking pro-life women's centers. Okay, where were Democrats denouncing that? You had Antifa. Okay, they're out here attacking cops. You know, the Cop City incident that happened in Atlanta? Where were Democrats denouncing that? You had the BLM riots. Again, see, this is the type of stuff they come out here and say. When they come out here and they talk about political violence, what political violence has happened from the right since January 6th? I can't think of anything, right? I can't think of any big political violence event that has happened from the right since January 6th. Can't think of anything. But I can think of a ton of them that come from the left that Democrats have refused to denounce. Again, this is all projection here, okay? Accusing Trump of being a dictator, political violence, all projection.
So hear me clearly. I'll say what Donald Trump won't. Political violence is never, ever acceptable in the United States political system. Never, never, never.
Again, where's all this energy for the left-wing political violence in this country, right? If he had this same energy for the left-wing political violence, maybe we have less of it, but he doesn't, okay? It's only acceptable if you're a left-winger, right? If you're a left-winger. He forgot to throw in that caveat there.
It has no place in a democracy, none. You can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. And yet Trump and his MAGA supporters not only embrace political violence, but they laugh about it. At his rally, he jokes about an intruder, whipped up by the big Trump lie, taking a hammer to Paul Pelosi's skull, and echoing the very same words used on January 6th. Where's Nancy? And he thinks that's funny. He laughed about it. What a sick... My God. I think it's despicable, seriously. Not just for a president, for any person to say that. But to say it to the whole world listening. When I was overseas, anyway.
Yeah, you forgot what you was about to say, right? Biden forgot what he was about to say. Again, amazing, amazing. Even doing a scripted speech, Biden is still forgetting what he's supposed to say. Again, it's amazing.
Trump's assault on democracy isn't just part of his past. It's what he's promising for the future. He's being straightforward. He's not hiding the ball. His first rally for the 2024 campaign opened with a choir of January 6th insurrectionists singing from prison on a cell phone, while images of the January 6th riot played on a big screen behind him at his rally. Can you believe that? This is like something out of a fairy tale, a bad fairy tale.
Yeah. So you seen that, you heard that. Okay. You know what I love about this, right? You know what I love about this? The mainstream liberal media, okay, at the same time, they'll tell somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy, why are you out here talking about January 6th being an inside job? The American people don't care about that, right? They're not concerned about January 6th being an inside job, okay? As if he's, again, you know, it's a waste of time for him to talk about it because the American people don't care about January 6th, right? That's the implication. But they never confront Democrats and themselves, really. Well, why do you keep talking about January 6th? Because the American people don't care about it. So apparently, the American people only care about January 6th when it comes to the Democrats and the narrative that they want to push, right? And the liberal media. But when Republicans come out here and push back against the narrative on January 6th, well, all of a sudden, oh, well, American people don't really care about January 6th. Why are you talking about it so much, right? Again, it's amazing how that works. They only care about it when the liberal media is pushing their narrative, but when the Republicans are pushing back and saying that, I think January 6th might have been a setup, it might have been an inside job, all of a sudden they don't care about it. Again, absolutely amazing stuff. Biden will not be confronted on talking about January 6th and making January 6th an issue, when apparently, according to the mainstream liberal media, when Republicans talk about it, it's not an issue. Amazing. Amazing. So with that being said, I'm happy that the Democrats are continuing to talk about Trump and January 6th and to make that their campaign strategy, because it has been time tested to fail, right? It has failed. It will continue to fail. And if they want to go along with this losing and failing strategy, be my guest. It just increases the likelihood that Trump is going to win if this is what they want to do, because they're doing this because they have nothing, right? This is what you do when you have absolutely nothing. You continue to pearl clutch over January 6th, when, again, we've seen more political violence in this country from the left than anything we've ever seen before in this country. It was much worse than what happened on January 6th, okay? And we see it frequently, but yet you're out here trying to boohoo and whine, cry about political violence on January 6th, when you can't even get the political violence straight on your side of the aisle. Again, it's amazing. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, right? So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.